Hey, hi everyone. Welcome back to Daytona office hours, where, as every week, we go over some of the changes that occurred over the past week and what we have coming up, and of course, have an open floor for discussions surrounding Daytona or any topic in general. So, as always, we'll start from the repo. Actually, let's skip the repo for a sec. And last week, we announced that there were going to be some breaking changes with the latest release of the SDK. It was one of the biggest changes to Daytona since our release, and that we successfully deployed the changes on Sunday. And with this SDK version, as mentioned, there were a lot of breaking changes, and that all was included in our migration guide. It was sent out as an email to all users, and also it was a banner on the documentation on the dashboard. So hopefully everyone migrated successfully, and according to our data, that has been the case since the release. For those of you who haven't yet, you can go to the Daytona.files updates tab and then check out the migration guide. It's mostly snippets of what changed and how to address it. And down below, there's also a reduced kind of like a reduced section of all the changes right here, so you can go ahead and check it out. And it's also, of course, divided by TypeScript users and Python users because the SDKs are different. So hopefully, if you have any questions regarding the migration, of course, feel free to reach out to us on Slack, Twitter, wherever you can find us. Since the release, since Sunday, we have been, of course, working on improvements as well. There were some minor issues that happened since the release regarding some error sandboxes, but all that was taken care of. If that's the case for you, again, reach out to us on Slack or via the dashboard integrated chat app. And then one of the changes also that's not really regarding any functionality, but it's regarding the SDK license. So from 0.21.0, we updated the license of all our client libraries, including the SDK, to Apache 2. This means we essentially lifted the let's say, alleviated some of the restrictions with the AGPL license for our SDKs and API clients, because, of course, we don't want that to be a barrier for using Daytona's SDK, but the rest of the application is still on AGPL as before. Then some of the minor fixes right here, you can see we fixed some Mirko fixed some package metadata stuff for surrounding the SDK, and also some sandbox state updates. So we introduced a feature or a method in the new SDK which allows you to refresh the data of the sandbox that's currently in use, but we also fixed it so whenever you stop or start the sandbox via the SDK, the state is automatically updated as well, so you don't have to manually call the refresh data method. Also, our CTO refactor some state sync return types. This is just a convenience in the code because we used some Booleans before. Now we use strings, not really a major refactor there, just let's say a developer experience refactor right there. Also, one of the users noticed that there were some missing flags in our CLI after the release. So after the release, once we migrated from images to snapshots, we had some missing resource flags in the CLI that prevented users who use the CLI to create snapshots to actually assign resources to them, and then Ivan fixed that as well, and this is all live in the new version of the CLI. That's about it for the changes merged into main. We also have some exciting PRs on the way. One of the biggest changes, which won't really affect a lot of users, but it's a big change in the overall architecture, is the proxy app refactor by me. So we are migrating from a, let's say, per runner proxy in the current architecture to a centralized proxy application. This means that if you notice the preview URLs for your sandboxes, they tend to change the domain because it's going directly to our runners. This will change in the future, and with the merge of this proxy app, it will have a unified domain or proxy domain, and then the proxy will handle the, let's say, proxying to the runners themselves. This will also make it much easier for local deployments, and it's basically an enabler for local deployments, because currently, as many users reported, there's no way to actually to preview running ports inside local sandboxes. But with this PR, this is going to change, and it should be possible in the future. Most of these other PRs are either Dependabots, which we will merge very soon, and some dashboard stuff. Of course, you're free to check these PRs out and contribute in any way possible. And lastly, what I was gonna do in this office hours is go through the new creation flow for snapshots, which changed with 0.21.0. So as you can see, I'm using the TypeScript API SDK, but of course it's the same with the Python one as well. So with our newest release, you can now create snapshots with Daytona snapshot create, and these snapshots have an image that you can use right here. The image can be a string or our dynamic or declarative built image. Here I use the declarative built image, where you can see I use base Ubuntu, which basically creates the image from Ubuntu and then runs echo hello world. This is just a very, very basic image right here. And also you'll notice that now resources are part of the snapshot. This is one of the biggest changes with the new SDK. So sandboxes no longer have resources in them when you use snapshots or images that were before. Now that's attached to the snapshot itself, and here you can pass also on logs right here, so you know, as you get progress updates when this snapshot is built. So if I run this right now, and lastly, of course, I use the snapshot name right here to create the sandbox, and this is just some boilerplate code right here, which I'll mention in a second. So if I run this, it should create a snapshot. Whoops, sorry, the TSX, of course. And as you can see here, I get the progress updates from this on logs callback right here. I can see that the building's pending, and then it's building, and this is the output of the Docker build from for this image right here. Then the snapshot is tagged, and then basically our infrastructure is pushing the snapshot into our registries and distributing this over our nodes. And this process can take a bit of time, because the distribution of the image in our runners takes a bit of time. And then once that all is done, you'll see that the snapshot is created, and then immediately after we will create the sandbox, and you'll see that it happens, the sandbox creation itself will happen very fast, because the snapshot is already propagated on our runners. So right here you can see that we have created snapshot test 1, 2, 3, 4. We are pulling the snapshot, and again, this is what takes a bit of time right here. We'll probably improve the developer experience right here by including some spinners or something like that, just so users don't confuse this wait time with just getting stuck on the API. But once this finishes, we'll see that the snapshot is created, and I can go ahead and show you the dashboard maybe as well. Also, as before, we have a validation step with these snapshots. So essentially, the validation includes us running this image or running this snapshot and making sure it works in Daytona's infrastructure. And once that works, we basically say that the snapshot is active. This validation step just ensures that there's minimal chance of the sandbox erroring when you use the snapshot. So if we were to just push the snapshot and use it in a sandbox, then some errors might occur, which the validation itself takes care of. And once that validation goes through, the snapshot should be in an active state. We will wait for a few moments right here. Maybe I can talk about the image property here until this finishes. So yeah, I'll do that. So this here, what I wanted to showcase is that you can use you can use the dynamic image builder for this sandbox directly as well. So you don't need to use a snapshot and then use a sandbox. You can create a sandbox directly from a declarative built image. And right here, we see that the snapshot did create, and it's a bit too much. So the snapshot did create. This is the output of the snapshot. And immediately after, we create the sandbox, and we can see all of it, all the output right here. And that's basically it. But now if we wanted to use this declarative builder directly to create a sandbox, we can do that as well right here. I'll just comment the local file stuff because we don't need that. So I'll basically use the exact same image I used for the snapshot, but we can, of course, define whatever we want here. And let's go ahead and create it. Oh, I think I forgot the log stuff, but basically you can see how fast this is because our infrastructure detected that we already built this image, and because we have it cached, it will go to the appropriate runner. So we can basically create as many of these sandboxes as we want, and it should all be very fast because of the caching mechanism we have in the backend. And I think that's the most important update with 0.21.0, and that's it for the coverage of that update. What we have coming up, hopefully today, I'll raise a PR for the local setup. That's going to be, let's say, early release of locally of Daytona's local setup, and users will then be able to just run Docker Compose up and lift the entire Daytona infrastructure locally, and then use that with their, let's say, agents if they want to run the entire stack locally. Just a note on that, the setup won't be basically production ready. That's not the point of the local Daytona setup. The production setup might come in a future update, but the current version of the, let's say, local Daytona deployment will just be for local setup, and everything will be running locally. We'll publish, of course, documentation on how to change some components of the setup, but it should be as easy as just running Docker Compose from our compose file, and that's basically it. That's it for this office hours updates. If anyone has any questions or discussions they want to open up, I'm free to take it up. If not, you know where to reach us on Slack, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. We're always here and happy to support you along the way. I think that's it for this office hours. Thank you very much as always, and see you all next week.